Landmines and jellyfish, welcome back to Knives I Guess, and I'm not forklift certified, but your mom thinks I am. So we got an open tag going around, and I first saw this through Tim's School of Fish, so that's who's getting tagged. And what it is 3 knives that you would take with you to survive in the woods for a week. And you gotta have a fixed blade, you gotta have a modern folder, and you gotta have a slip joint. I says to myself, Knives I Guess, I think you've got something to cover those 3 bases. The slip joint's a little funky, but we're going to deal with that when we get there. And I am assuming from the start that we have got the supplies we need. We're just looking at our knives that we're carrying. So, for the fixed blade, a lot of guys are showing off bushcraft size knives, you know, a lot of that stuff, but not me. So, the fixed blade I'm going to carry is going to be a Cold Steel machete. And this one is the Bowie machete, and the idea here is that I can break down and process some pretty damn large pieces of wood to make fires with, and also take care of a lot of heavy tasks around the campsite, and everything that I need a big knife to do. And I am entirely sure I could baton with this thing and it wouldn't break a sweat. So this is what I'd be carrying. Again, it's just size, utility, and processing large material. So the modern folder that I'd be carrying is my Cold Steel AD10. And this thing right here is an absolute monster. You could also baton with this thing if you wanted. There is video of one of these getting batoned through a brick and taking very minor edge damage. So you can do an ungodly amount of work around the campsite with this and not have to worry about it staying intact. And this triad lock, that can take over 600 pounds of pressure on the back of the blade before it gives out. So I'm not going to have to worry about this thing folding up on me and harming me in any way. This is going to be a very, very useful beast for anything that I need it to do. And, you know, I love this thing. It's a great EDC knife. I know I can carry it and be comfortable. And, again, no worries of it closing up on me. Now, the slip joint is this Cutmaster Utica, New York electrician's knife. And I took a look at this thing. Like, I went looking through my stuff, and I didn't even know I had this until I got to the bottom of the box of stuff that belonged to my uncle. And so our slip joint, you've of course got this blade right here, and this thing has got a ton of patina on it. The best I could find is it's from the 1970s, so it's a cool old piece. But you've got a nice drop point folding blade right here, and this will be good for carving, whittling, doing very small fine tasks, and not be a problem whatsoever. And of course you got somewhere to hang a lanyard, so you're not going to lose track of it, and it can stay with you. And you know, again, small tasks, all that should be pretty useful for that. Now, this blade is slip joint, a little bit of walk and talk, not much, but it's got the electrician's blade, and this thing is full of gunk and nasty. So these blades aren't terribly happy with life right now. Like I said, I just found it, but the electrician's blade actually does lock. It's got a liner lock on it. I didn't realize liner locks were that old. I'm kind of impressed. And this thing's got the flat tip on it, so you can do mild prying jobs and break some stuff apart if you need to. Dig stuff out. And then it's got the sharp part right here, which can be used for other stuff. It feels like it's a bit wider of a grind than the slip blade. So you could feather stick with this and handle, you know, some other stuff that the slip blade wouldn't be happy about. And this feels like it would be a good knife to carry if it was cleaned up and working smoothly. And dear God, this thing is so hard to move right now. I did oil the pivot on this, but it hasn't really done a whole lot for getting everything else moving smoothly, especially not on the electrician's blade. I may or may not want to clean this up later. I'm not sure. And my nails aren't strong enough for the nail nick. This thing is starting to get flipped upside or flipped backwards. So this is the slip joint that I would carry out of the ones that I have. A lot of utility built into this one and 2 blades. So if something happens to one of them, I've still got the other. Now, realistically, with these guys, I wouldn't actually be carrying a slip joint. These tend to be a bit more fragile than I like. I've snapped enough blades on these things where I know better. And even if I wasn't worried about, you know, it closing on me and cutting my fingers, it still wouldn't be something I would carry. What I would have instead is my Mora. These things are legendary for durability and edge retention and everything else, and this is the Mora Carbon. And these things are fantastic, and they are known for being fantastic bushcrafting and survival knives. So this is what I would have instead of a slip joint, and this could handle all the intermediate stuff that this and this couldn't handle. And this has got the right edge for carving, feather sticking, all the stuff. And let's see. There's a spot on the AD-10 where I can strike a fire steel if I so desired. However, what I would be carrying is a big lighter and some tinder, because that's way easier and more reliable to deal with, and you know, a little bit smarter than trying to fire steel it out. So these are what I would carry for the knives to survive in the woods for a week with. And I think I made some pretty good choices here. This one was kind of a lack of other choices, and if it opened and closed smoothly, especially on the electrician's blade, you know, it would be a lot easier to demonstrate what it's got going on. But again, this thing has been sitting for God knows how long, and it is definitely full of rust and gunk and everything else, and I just cannot get this electrician's blade open barehanded. It's just not coming. So I may play with this for a while just to see if I can get it going smoothly again, but again, these are what I would actually carry. If I had to replace this with a slip joint, this would be the slip joint I'd carry. But that's my approach to it. All that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Thanks for the guys that have subscribed. You guys are awesome. Thanks for the comments. They make this a little better for me. And all that being said, y'all have a nice day.